Welcome to this week's episode of Success in Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today, Christmas in November.
It's coming! Yay!
Just around the corner.
Yes,
so
it is.
we figured we're going to be talking and helping you plan so you can have a stress-free Christmas. At least that's the idea. That's our goal.
That's the hope.
Yeah. So before we get started, Andrea's got her tip of the week.
Well, along the lines of Christmas, and if we're having little parties or hosting any kind of event at your home, get out those muffin tins. So here's a few little tips. So you can use the muffin trays to make really cute ice cubes. Throw in some fruit, some oranges, maybe some apples, some lemons, put in some water, throw them in the freezer.
Wow.
And when they're frozen, take them out, put them in a baggie, do another batch so that you have really cute little ice cubes for your drinks when the people are coming over. And then when they are there, and if you have a large group, you take your plastic glasses and you put them inside the little muffin holes, pour the drinks in, and then you can walk around and serve it. So you could have 12 at a time. They won't spill, and your hands are not all, trying to hold
Right.
3-4 drinks.
Yeah, and I think if you got the right type of glass, it would be a lot more steady than on a tray that's just flat.
It is, and they are the plastic glasses that you get for the drinks they fit right into the hole. So I thought, wow,
You've had some practice.
What a great idea that is, and save you a lot of worry about, like you say, spilling, especially as the evening goes on. Everybody's having a few little tipsy ones, and you can always have the tray filled with drinks if you're a great hostess.
Yeah. Okay.
When somebody grabs a drink, you put another glass and fill it up, and you can use it for wine if you want. Like, you don't have to have fancy wine glasses.
No, that's true.
And or just even pop for kids' parties. Whatever. It's those trays are very useful.
Oh, yes, that's a good tip. Thank you. So, Christmas, and it's November, and you're thinking, yes, I know it's around and it's coming up quickly.
Yeah.
Now, for me personally, I don't go over the top because I can never host anymore, living in a small apartment that I do, which is good. From that point, I'm not expected to host parties and stuff.
Right.
But one of the things that I do, and I try to do this throughout the year, is I start accumulating gifts where I think it might be, this would be good for so-and-so and whatever. And then actually when I go in my storage locker, I find, holy God, I forgot I had all of these gifts already.
Right, and that's why you should prepare or look at this, start getting ready now, because you might have things that you've forgotten about so that you don't overbuy, double buy.
And that's a good point, because I was going to say, I just pulled them out last week. And I thought, I'd forgotten I'd already had that and that and that. And so actually between now and December, I will start wrapping this stuff and,
Right.
Putting the names and all that. But you're right. And so I'll say one of the things to prepare, you can start making that list. Actually, before you even do that, get a budget. What do you plan to spend, or what can you afford comfortably to spend on Christmas? Then make your list of people you need to buy for.
Exactly.
Make a list of, if you're hosting, food and stuff like that, because with the rising cost.
Well, that's the thing. You have to, before you do anything, I find it's good to decide or figure out in your family who's hosting and if you're hosting or not. Because that makes all the difference in getting ready and preparing for Christmas Day.
Yes.
If you don't have to get your home ready as far as linen and dishes and whatnot, that's less stressful. If you are doing it at home, then you have to really start thinking right now about the menu. If you're going to divvy it up, are you doing buffet?
That's a good point, though.
Exactly.
Because you can't be expected to do all of it, not just from a cost point. It's from a work point.
For a work point. You don't want your day to be, sweat and tears
And all the way up to that point.
Up to that point. And then people get there and you haven't enjoyed one iota and you don't even taste the food.
No.
Because you're so stressed. And we want to get away from that.
Right.
And preparing a month in advance is the only way to do it. And so you decide if you're hosting, then you decide if you're doing potluck or not. And most people will. They always want to contribute. What can I bring? Especially if you have married children, whatnot. And find out who's coming. Because if you do have married children, some of them have in-laws.
Yes.
So they might not be coming that day. Or they might come the day after. Or you might decide to have Christmas the week after or the week before. So that's very important to just get that out there.
Yes.
Decide who's going where, who's doing what, and that's off your plate. I know this year, for the first time in forever, I am not hosting. My daughter and my son-in-law are. So I'm so happy about that. And so I'm not going to worry so much about the Christmas dishes, the Christmas linen. I still have my tables that every day in my kitchen, I always have Christmas linen just for fun. And, but I will be definitely cooking. So my son-in-law, who's the chef, and I will decide what we're going to cook and who's going to bring what. And then it's done. Mm-hmm. We know in advance. You can buy things in advance.
And even your baking and stuff,
right.
What you plan to bake.
Baking, because I know a lot of people do cookie exchange.
I was just going to say that actually just popped in my mind.
Yeah, my sister-in-law still does it. Yeah,
well, that's a great thing, though. If you've got a close family and friends that you do that, because then you've got the variety and you can just focus on one or two actual, types of cookies,
right, exactly.
and everybody's making the exchange.
Yeah, she's been doing it for years, and
I think it's a great idea.
So she prepares ahead of time, and you
so
throw
much
some
less
stuff
work,
in the freezer. Exactly. And so that's one thing. And then, but if you are hosting, like I normally do, now would be the time that I would start getting out my linens, seeing if they need to be dry cleaned or washed.
Do you start making your list first of all the things you need to do, and then kind of, because doing the linens and stuff, but if that's on my list, I would know I have to do the linen stuff. I have to do,
that you kind of know, but you got to get it out of storage. Right. And that's the thing. Like I have a closet where I hang them all after Christmas. So they're mostly, I know that they're ready and ready to go, because I hang them nice long lengthwise and cover them so they're ready to go. But some people, after Christmas, they just throw them in a drawer or something.
Well, for me, I used to put everything in a box and out away it went in the basement, so when I started pulling all these things out, and I would do that near the end of November just to get ready to see what I had. But I always started decorating my house December 1st, because it was Christmas month, but I got everything, I started pulling things out, and to see what I had.
And some people, if the weather's good and the weather's been not so bad, start doing the outside of the house. Because you want to get that done before the snow starts. If you are an outdoor decorator, not everybody does. And I have friends that go all out, and some that just like myself, only because I would love to do my home, but I don't have the help. Like I don't have a husband who loves Christmas and all that comes with it. So
he does like to eat. I know that.
He loves that part of it, but not the whole other part of it. Yeah. So I'll do a couple of pots in the front and put some twinkly lights, and that's about it. But if I had my way, it would be decorated to the nines. But some people will, and they start early. Yeah, not that much.
Watch the meter going up.
I know, watch the meter go up. But anyway, so that. And then also, if you are a card sender, Christmas card sender, I have friends that send me Christmas cards. I stopped that, I'm 25 years ago or so, but
I have as well.
And so you got to start preparing that, get that in the mail. Gifts, if you're sending them out of town, overseas, you got to start thinking about that and getting that in the mail now, because
If that's because some of you have family members that are extremely close, it could be your own children or grandchildren, and you want to send these gifts, you need to start planning that well in advance.
Exactly.
I've been fortunate in the sense that my philosophy, I don't have children, so it's very different, but out of sight, out of mind, in the sense for I don't bother. If I see you at Christmas, absolutely, I've got something for you. If I don't see you, because I'm just not a big shopper, so for me, that's why I have my list of people that I know I'm buying for, and it's really the family members that I'm going to be seeing and the friends that I might see, you know, right around the holidays kind of thing.
Well, I know for myself, years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so, my list was enormous. Like it was ridiculous. Really.
Yeah, mine's shrunk over the years as well.
And it's shrinking every year because first of all, the cost of everything.
Yes.
And the timing. People don't, you know, have the time to go in the stores.
But the big thing, Andrea, who needs stuff?
Who needs stuff?
You know, for me,
but
it's
the
always
young people still like to get the stuff.
They do, but what? And we were young once, and that's what I always say. When you're young, you accumulate a lot of stuff, but as you get older, you realize I don't want a lot of stuff. And it's not that I want to be a Scrooge or anything else, but I don't want people buying me stuff either because I can only use so much.
Well, you know how I've gotten over that now because I like to get stuff, but I want personal stuff now as far as I'll go, and that's another thing. Ask your kids or your kids if they have children for a list.
Yep.
Are there things you want? Send me a picture or give me a list. And I do the same. So I go online and I've gotten some beautiful gifts the last couple of years because I've done that. And there's a few, you know, sites that I like to visit and order from. And I go through everything. And especially now, they seem to have a lot of sales right now. And especially, when, you know, with Black Friday and all that, there's a lot of sales. So I'll take pictures and I'll send them to them. I'll say, oh, nice Christmas gift. This would be, and you know, of course, my birthday's a week later. So I get a double whammy and that's been working out really well. So
funny enough,
think about what you might like and send it to your children. And I have 3 daughters. So it's wonderful. They all chip in and I just want that one thing.
Right.
I don't, like you say, I don't want a lot of little stuff and statues. And we did all that. That's done. Now I just want personal things that I can wear that I'll use.
So it's funny when you said that because I had a conversation with my nephew recently and we got on the conversation of Christmas and then he goes, well, then what would you want? I said, if I can't eat it, drink it, wear it, you know what I mean?
Sail on it.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I mean, I don't need anything else. So I don't need, and living in such a small apartment,
That's true.
I can't have stuff.
No.
So, you know, it's got to be something that's, and good thing about with women anyway, you know, like bath salts are still okay because, you know, I do take a bath once in a while and, you know, if I can eat it, that's great because I'm enjoying that.
Right. Or like a gift card to a restaurant that you frequent. Even gas cards lately, like for men, because I know a couple of years in a row, my sisters would say, well, what can I get your husband? I don't know. I said, get a gas card. Yeah. He'll love it. And, you know,
I do that for my nephew as well. Yeah.
So, you know, it's thinking about those things ahead of time, asking people what they want. Now's the time.
But make that list and put a budget.
List, and I always make a list, like of the people I have to buy for and ideas that I might have. Because I do have a daughter that she collects 2 different things. And one is nutcrackers. And the other one is, if nobody, if you don't know about it, every year Walmart comes out with the Christmas bear. And it's the boy bear with the Santa hat and the little girl bear with a Christmas outfit. And on the foot is the year.
Oh.
It's embroidered on the bottom of the foot. Oh. So I have them going back to like 1995.
Wow.
And I have one from 1985. It must have been a one-off, but for every single year. And they are the cutest thing. And they have them in the little miniature and then the regular teddy bear style. So that's, and you have to start getting them in November early because they sell out quickly. And I put them on my staircase from the last one to, and then last year's bear will find its way on the staircase this year, you know. So I make sure I write that down and get on that. And the nutcrackers are hard to find too, so I'm always looking for those. And so things like that you have to think about early, because you don't want to be at the last minute scrambling and just grabbing whatever.
That's true.
And then you don't want to disappoint either.
But you know, having said that, you could be invited to host, like, you want to get a hostess gift, I'll say, because you're going somewhere
Right.
else to, you know, Christmas parties and stuff. And while you're out and when you get the sales, you can buy certain things that if you don't end up using it to give away, it could still be okay for your family. Like
Right.
things like maybe a bottle of wine or a nice box of candy, you know, something that you could give and have
Right.
on hand.
Right.
So that if you get a last minute invitation, you've got something that is wrapped that you can
Exactly.
just, you know, bring out there.
Bring
And that's
there.
kind of, and put that into your budget that, you know, you might be doing some of
Right.
those things because
Exactly.
it's really important. And when you don't have a list and when you don't have your budget, it's easy to overspend at Christmas time because you
Yes.
get caught up, especially near the end when it's a last minute rush.
Right.
I've always liked to go to the mall in the last week of Christmas because I think it's fun watching people, the
Right.
atmosphere, everything. But it's easy to get caught up
Yes.
and overspend.
Overspend. Yes, definitely. A lot of people. And then come January, that's why everybody's depressed, and
Because of the bills
the
come in.
bills start pouring in. You're like, oh, why did I do that? You
But I've
know,
also
and-
found myself, because of these last minute things I decided to buy, which I didn't need, ended up wrapping Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. And that takes away from the fun of just enjoying
Right.
the evening with the family.
Right. And that's another thing. I like to, my husband laughs at me all the time, but I pick a day or two in December, and I have everything downstairs, all the gifts. I put all the wrapping paper, everything, I pile it all up, and then I get my Christmas music going.
Oh, that's nice.
I have 3 or 4 really awesome Christmas CDs that I love. And then I spend the whole day down there wrapping, and I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
And he's going, you're crazy, you know, but I said, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is a tradition for me. And
I love it though with the Christmas music and stuff. I
Oh,
actually
yes.
always enjoyed that as well.
Yes.
But now because of my limited space, I actually brought all my stuff over to my nephew's place because he's got a couple of extra bedrooms and I've stuck all my stuff in the
good.
closet and so ready to go there one day to wrap.
yeah,
you know.
there you go.
Yeah.
And you know that, and then when we were talking about hostess gifts, that's another thing. You know, figure out if you do have any parties coming up,
Yeah.
or even for your for the children for their school, because you might want to buy teachers gifts, and you got to know the day that they're done school, so that you don't the night before think, oh no, I didn't get something for the teacher, and most children do bring something. Or if they have recitals, they have a lot of Christmas pageants and stuff at your church. So get your calendar out, get it all written down so that you're not, you know,
And that's
going
a good
crazy
thing to
or
make a
double
schedule.
booking. Make a schedule.
Yeah,
exactly.
like I like that because you can do that right in your phone and you add every event in there. But whether it's like, again, a party at a friend's place or one of the relatives or the school pageant or whatever, you can
Right.
put all of that in your
All of it in.
calendar. And if you see a little dot, go in there and find out what's going on.
Right.
But-
and I always say set your notification alert 24 hours ahead of
At
time.
least, yes.
Because I know my last week, my husband, something popped up on his thing, and it was like that coming up, and I said, why didn't you tell me yesterday? He said, well, I had it in my calendar. I said, but I needed to know yesterday. You know, so that's what you want to try to avoid when it comes to
Yes.
Christmas and functions and parties. You know ahead of time where you need to be, when you need to be, and then you can schedule the things you need to do for yourself around those, so that you're not running like
Running
a
around.
chicken with your
Yes.
head cut off, you know. And the kids, they love Christmas.
Yeah.
And it has to be joyous. You have to schedule maybe visiting Santa at the mall, you know. So there's a lot of things to consider. So put that in a calendar so that you're not forgetting or running out of time. And then, you know, it just is not fun for anybody if you're feeling stressed about it. And
But
then
also
that's
if
when
you-
you hear people say, I hate Christmas.
Yes,
I hate Christmas.
yes.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Because you're not prepared for it.
But also, if you miss out on something, it's not the end of the world. Don't sweat it.
Exactly.
You know, don't stress yourself. Enjoy the moment that you're going to have, not just maybe, you know, the Christmas day, because, you know, even preparing for that big meal, and in a few minutes it's all
It's
over.
over.
And you've done all of this work, and
I
you're
know.
thinking, really?
Really?
But you know what? And every time and every holiday, and I always say, because I know how fast that part goes, but I enjoy the journey right to
Exactly.
that holiday.
I love it. I absolutely do love it.
Yeah, so I don't actually stress, and I always say, if something goes wrong, so what? It's
Exactly.
family and friends.
Yeah.
Are they really going to care? Matter of fact, they probably won't even miss whatever it was that didn't get out
Exactly.
or whatever, because I know I've done dinner parties where I've forgotten food in the fridge I forgot to put out. And again, but I didn't have a list. I
That's
find when I have a checklist for any and all the things I need to do, even at work, it's easy to just go down
Very, yes.
and make sure that it's all been taken
All
care
done.
of. All
If
checked
you have
off.
to buy this, if you have to buy that,
Yeah.
if you have to pick up this, pick up that.
And on those lists, I actually will have names of stores. Okay, when I'm at this store, these are all the things I need to do.
Right.
All the things I need to get. And I do that by list of stores, because I'll write that down, and then after I've got all the list of things I want to buy, where do I get all these things?
That's right.
You know, because even some things nowadays, people are buying online.
Right.
And even that, okay, all the things that you can get online, get that list there. But you need one master list.
Right.
To make sure all the names are there.
Right.
And what you're going to be getting everybody.
Yes.
And then you break down that master list.
But don't forget, when you are ordering online, that everybody's ordering online.
Yes.
So do it now, because I ordered 2 things for my niece's children, and I gave myself a month, and they still didn't come on time for the birthday, and that's just, you know, October, November.
Yeah.
So
You know what it's going to be like at
it's going to
Christmas.
start getting very, very
And I remember
hard to get deliveries.
last year, my nephew and my sister had both ordered things online that did not come before Christmas.
I know, and that's heartbreaking. So do it now.
Well, it was heartbreaking for them. The people that were
Right.
going to receive it didn't know anyway.
I mean,
so.
if it's Amazon, I don't think you have too much of an issue, because they're pretty quick. But off,
Still gets busy though for
it does
everybody.
get busy, yes.
Yeah.
But if you can order, just do it.
Yeah.
Why wait?
Why wait?
Just do it, and you have it at home,
Yes.
and it's ready to go.
And matter of fact, if you can break up your wrapping days, you know, so that you're not, again, the whole day, 8 hours, maybe of sitting there wrapping, because
Right.
then it gets tedious after a while.
It
You won't
does.
enjoy it as much. And then schedule in some of those cookie making days.
Yeah.
Because for me, I love Christmas cookies. I love them. I love
I
the
know.
shortbread. There's a number of different cookies I love at Christmas time. And although I'm not a cookie person throughout the year, at Christmas there's just certain
Because
cookies.
they're different. They're not maybe cookies that you would get normally during the year. Like my sister-in-law, she makes what's that? It's arugula.
Oh, yeah, I love
Oh
those.
my goodness, they're so good, and she makes them every Christmas. And
I like the
could just
thumbprint
devour
cookies,
them.
you know, with the
she
jam.
makes those too,
Oh, I
the
love
thumbprint, and I could just devour those. You know, not good for the waistline, but and that's another thing. Watch your
Yes.
watch what you're eating from now till then. You know, try and be careful, because
It's all about the balance.
balance, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you know, the same with the alcohol, if you are hosting, you want to have different wines and whatnot, buy one a week, you know, or every other day. Like, you don't have to go to the liquor store and spend $500 in one
Exactly.
shot, or get people to bring
Yes.
something they enjoy
They like
to
to drink. Yes.
And that helps too. So
Yeah.
just think about it. Start thinking now. It's
Yes.
very important.
Make your planning, make your goals. You know what? Because by the time it's all over and, you know, around the corner, then we're into a new year. We want you to enjoy the whole experience of
Exactly.
Christmas and not get caught up in the sense of this is too stressful. And like Andrew
Yeah.
said, complaining about I hate Christmas
Right.
for something that you've done to yourself when it could have been a little bit more organized earlier. And then everybody has a good time that way.
Right. And
don't be afraid to delegate some things.
Exactly. And remember, it's also about the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So he doesn't want us stressed out over the commercialism of it all.
Right.
Enjoy that part of it also. Because if you celebrate Christmas, you also are celebrating the birth of Jesus. So remember that. Take time to acknowledge that, explain it to your grandchildren. I talk to my grandson all the time about it, and last year he was in the Christmas pageant at church. It made it so much more meaningful.
It would, because sometimes people lose sight because of all the commercials and everything else that's going on, and that's not really what Christmas is all about.
No.
And so
end the year on a good note, on a high, like, Jesus is born. We've got a new birth, and let's celebrate life and
the new year.
The new year.
Yes, actually. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Success in Women. But remember
to like,
share,
and please subscribe. Give us our Christmas present
early. Right. 2 thumbs up, ladies. We'll see you soon.
Have a good week.